Hi, I'm Andrew Sears, and I'm the president of City Vision University. And I'm going to explain to you how you could use City Vision Institute courses and material to lead a group in your church or nonprofit or organization. So this is a guide to do that. So our mission is to provide radically affordable online education to those serving the poor, the addicted, and the underserved. And a big part of that is through the City Vision Institute. So we provided courses that have served over 15,000 students in 166 countries. So we want to help you be able to utilize our courses. So some of the ways that you can use City Vision Institute courses in groups. So the primary way would be to use the material like a book study in a small group. Many of you have probably led small groups or Bible studies where you go through a book, but instead of you just going through a book, you might have some video material that you go through. And some other ways, you might have leaders in your nonprofit, church, or ministry go through particular lessons for something like cross-cultural training. You can include this course. One of our partners we've been talking with about including it as a part of their residential recovery program in a rescue mission or some other Christian ministry, or it could be some other type of program. Assign as staff training for a new employee training plan, or as a part of an employee development plan, used for training with volunteers, or to provide intern training to a cohort of interns to work together. One of our partners is doing that, and they have interns across the world, and they go through this material and they listen to it or they discuss it by Zoom. And you could discuss in person or via video or Zoom. So this course is designed to be a college course. For a lot of groups, that's going to be too much content. So what I want to talk with you about is how you can customize the content to fit your group. So I'm going to explain the steps, and I'm going to actually show you these steps. So what I would recommend you do, so each of our courses has a student workbook Google Doc, and you could create a copy of that, and you can customize it for your group. So that can kind of provide the template of what you might go through with your group. And then what you're going to do is identify which content in each lesson that you want to go through with your group. And what I'd recommend is you have some content that's kind of assigned as homework that to read in between groups or to watch before you gather as a group. And some groups prefer to watch some content together as a group. So I've been a part of where you go through and read a book, and then there's like a 20-minute video at the beginning of the group that everyone watches, and then you discuss it. So you could do something like that. And then, review the assignments section of each lesson and identify which assignments you might want to assign as homework, or which ones you want to use for discussion. So then that's the other big part, is identify which discussions and discussion questions you'll use in your live discussions. Change the wording to fit your context as needed. Often we say introduce yourself to the class. Obviously, that's not what you're doing. You'd say, to the group, or however you want to do that. You can use a search and replace for that. Add your own discussion questions, and then share your Google Doc with your group, or you could print it out if you prefer, and then have everyone go through your core material. And you can let them know that if they want college credit, they could go through the full course assignment workbook. And so how that works is, for students who want college credit, they can apply for free to City Vision University. It takes less than 5 minutes. What we're really trying to do is we're trying to copy the model that was introduced by MIT and Harvard and what they call their massive open online courses. And they have had hundreds of thousands of students go through their courses, and then a subset of those actually gets credit with MIT. So we're trying to do the same type of thing. And then students then just pay the $100 tuition for the course. That includes a big scholarship. That scholarship only applies to first-time students, not to existing City Vision students. And it doesn't apply to any federal aid. And then students, they just submit the student assignment workbook. That's basically all the assignments we have in our accredited course. And then they would get created for credit. So let me walk you through the steps that I talked about in this previous assignment real quick, just to explain that. So you'd go to the City Vision Institute website, and then you find the course that you're interested in. And each course is going to have a link to to the guide in two locations. So one is going to be in the materials tab here, and you could open the student assignment workbook there. The other is as you're going through the units, there's going to be important course resources. So it's also located there. So, and then you just click on the student guide. So then you get this Google Doc, and then what you can do is you can just click to make a copy. So you won't have rights to do any editing to this Google Doc, but you can click to make a copy, and then you can say, okay. And then at this point, what you do is you basically have a template to do an 8 session outline for your group. So what we have here for each week, we have discussion questions. This is probably going to be the main thing that you want to care about. What I would recommend you also do is you might, in the discussion questions, so say this is, week 1, you might say assignments for next week. And then you might also do things like, identify what videos people are going to watch, right? So, so videos to watch or material. And then you could go through the actual course and you could say, okay, so for next week, what we're going to do, I'm going to go through the required readings and I'm going to go through the videos, and then you just cut and paste which parts you want to, say you like these two materials, so the biblical justice and the reconciliation across social class, and then you can just paste that into the material to watch. You can try to improve the formatting or change it, and then that way this is kind of like your group can go through that. And then a lot of these assignments, obviously these summary assignments probably aren't going to make sense for most groups unless people are trying to get credit, and then that would be, you have your week 1 basically done. So here's your discussion questions. You might want to do things like introduce yourself to the group, and then you have your week 1. You could do that for each week if you wanted to. So that's the that's for the readings. For the video, you also could just copy any of these. If you right click, you can copy the link address, and then you can paste that in there. So I would encourage, when possible, the way we've organized this is we put the core presentations at the beginning, and these are kind of like the glue that tie together a lot of the different ideas there. But you can identify which works best for your group. So hopefully that's helpful. And if you need more help, what I'd recommend that you do is just email us. And if you have any feedback, or if you pull together a really great course or have additional resources you think that would be good for us to include, send us an email, and we'd appreciate that. So thanks a lot.